Hello, my name is Serem Basharan. I am full-time faculty member of Computers Information Systems Department at Nearis University in North Cyprus, and I am going to present the paper entitled as Exploring Faculty Members' Views on Adoption of Cloud Computing in Education. The outline of this study includes the problem, aims, methodology, under methodology, research question, research model, data collection tool, procedures, data analysis, and some demographic information related to the participants involved in the study. Afterwards, I am going to explain the results, conclusion, and recommendations for future work. Growing amount of data let higher education institutions use cloud computing services constantly. While some higher education institutions are early adopters, majority are still struggling to adopt this new emerging technology. So far, no research has been done to understand the matter from the integrated approach. For the scope of this study, two frameworks were used: SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and TOE, technology, organization, environment framework were used together to address this problem. In addition, few or no research found on the comparison of faculty members' views from different regions on the adoption of cloud computing in education. Therefore, the aim of this study is threefold: to investigate the current status of cloud computing adoption in different regions from faculty members' perspective. Second is to compare faculty members' views on cloud computing adoption in education across two regions. Lastly, to identify differences among views of faculty members on cloud computing adoption across regions. There are two questions. First one is, what are the faculty members' views from north parts of Cyprus and Iraq on the current status of cloud computing adoption in education? Are there any significant differences in the views of faculty members towards cloud computing adoption in higher education with respect to region, namely north parts of Cyprus and Iraq, is the second question. Second question has sub-questions. A significant difference were investigated with respect to SWOT and TOE frameworks across regions as well. The research model included one independent variable, namely region, north parts of Cyprus and Iraq, and dependent variables as the calculated average scores for the dimensions and sub-dimensions of SWOT and TOE. The design of this study is descriptive and causal comparative. For data collection, 6 demographic information related items and 55 Likert type items were used to collect data. The SWOT part, drafted from Odi et al. 2015, and TOE part items were adopted from Tashkandi and Al-Jabri 2015A. The calculated total reliability for SWOT and TOE dimensions is 0.75, which is acceptable, and the sub-dimensions reliability ranging from 0.71 to 0.89, which are acceptable too. For convenience, 2 public, 3 private universities were chosen from North Cyprus, and 4 public, 1 private universities were selected from North Iraq. Total of 300 valid questionnaires collected from 125 participants from North Cyprus and 125 participants from North Iraq. Descriptive statistics and independent sample t-tests were used to analyze data. If we look at the demographics, female-male ratio for North Cyprus is almost equal, whereas for North Iraq sample, the males are dominant. If we look at the age, North Cyprus faculty members are younger than the North Iraq faculty members that attended to this study. In terms of working years and teaching experience, North Iraq faculty members are more experienced than North Cyprus faculty members as a sample, and North Iraq faculty members are holding superior titles, academic titles, as assistant, associate professorship, and professorship as compared to North Cyprus faculty members. For the results of the first research question, first of all, the coding for liquor types items as strongly disagree coded as 1, to strongly agree coded as 5. For SWOT include 4 dimensions: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. TOEI part has 3 main dimensions: technology, organization, and environment, with 7 sub-dimensions as relative advantage, compatibility, complexity, management, support, vendor locking, data concern, and government regulations. In general, faculty members' responses to SWOT and TOEI dimensions regarding the adoption of cloud computing in education range from agree to strongly agree, with some variations in responses across regions and with respect to dimensions or sub-dimensions. For SWOT part, faculty members from both regions agree mostly on the opportunities, then threats, weaknesses, and lastly on the strengths of adopting cloud computing in education. For the strength sub-dimension, faculty members from north part of Cyprus agree most on the simplicity of implementation, whereas faculty members from the north part of Iraq agree most on that cloud computing offers using various devices at any location. They both agree least on the increased storage capacity of cloud computing. For weaknesses sub-dimension, faculty members from north parts of Cyprus agree most on that cloud computing has low level of data verification, whereas north part of Iraq faculty members agree most about depending highly on the service provider. Both faculty members admitted equally that cloud computing in education offers limited control and flexibility. For opportunities sub-dimension, both faculty members accept that cloud computing adoption in education will establish intelligent environments supported with knowledge and building. North Cyprus faculty members agree least on the high data storage capacity and availability of the resources, while North Iraq faculty members agree least on offering the high level of interactive and collaborative learning. For threat sub-dimension, both faculty members agree on the data security issues. North Cyprus faculty members agree least on the customer locking issues, whereas North Iraq faculty members agree least on management issues. For TOEI part, faculty members agree most on technology dimension, then organization, and lastly on the environment dimension. Organization is the dominating factor in a similar study conducted in 2014 for the adoption of a specific information system, which were conducted to 45 IT professionals. For technology sub-dimension, faculty members from both regions agree highly on the relative advantage, then compatibility, lastly on the complexity of adopting cloud computing. Relative advantage sub-dimension, both faculty members agree highly on that cloud computing provides new educational and research opportunities and agree least on that cloud computing can shorten the information systems deployment time. For the compatibility sub-dimension, both faculty members agree most on that cloud computing is compatible with their institution's operations and agree least that it is compatible with their institution's culture and values. For complexity sub-dimension, faculty members from north parts of Cyprus agreed most on the complexity of the skills required for cloud computing adoption in their institution, whereas faculty members from north part of Iraq mostly agree on using cloud computing services could be frustrating. Both faculty members agree least on the skills required for using cloud computing is too complex for them. For organization sub-dimension, faculty members from north part of Cyprus agree most on the vendor locking, then data concern, and agree least on the management support, whereas faculty members from north part of Iraq agree most on the data concern, then on management support, and lastly on the vendor locking. For management support subdimension, both faculty members agree most on that top management supports the implementation of cloud computing in education, and they both agree least on that top management understands the best benefits of adopting cloud computing in education. For vendor lock-in subdimension, both faculty members agreed most on the availability of the restriction in cloud computing moving to another service provider. Faculty members from north part of Cyprus agree least on that cloud computing makes them dependent on the provider services, whereas faculty members from north part of Iraq agree least on that cloud computing authorizes the use of specific IT resources. For data concern subdimension, both faculty members highly concerned about the leakage of confidential data and concern least on the storing data in the cloud. For environment dimension, and there is only one subdimension, which is government regulation subdimension, both faculty members agree most on that laws and regulations are sufficient to use of cloud computing, and they both agree less on that the laws and regulations facilitate the use of cloud computing. Here is the summary of what I have mentioned before. This table includes the mean scores for subdimensions of SWOT and TOEI for North Cyprus and North Iraq faculty members. And this is the rest of the table, which were explained earlier. For the second research question, which is to identify any differences among faculty members' views on cloud computing adoption with respect to region, independent sample t-tests were used. Significant difference was found only in the relative advantage dimension among faculty members from north part of Cyprus and north part of Iraq. There exist no statistically significant differences among other dimensions. From this result, faculty members from North Cyprus believed more that the use of cloud computing brings new educational and research opportunities and perform tasks more quickly with reduced IT expenses. This result is similar with another source from the existing literature who reported significant difference across 3 different countries, UK, USA, and South Korea, in terms of cloud computing adoption and implementation. Also, another study reported with developing countries that there is a significant difference between the countries in terms of cloud computing adoption. For the implications of this study, using integrated SWOT-TOEI framework provides clues to identify the reason behind why some higher education institutions choose to adopt cloud computing services earlier than others, to various communities as researchers, administrators, and service providers. Especially service providers will know about this status from the results of such studies and offer education-specific solutions to higher education institutions. Apparently, North Iraq faculty members are slightly more optimistic on the adoption of cloud computing in educational settings. The reason behind this might be either they less frequently use cloud computing services as compared to faculty members from north part of Cyprus who are younger in mean age and considered as Generation Y, which are more capable consumers of cutting-edge technologies like cloud. Recommendations for future work. Both faculty members are aware of the problems which could be resulted from adopting such innovation, and slight discrepancies detected among the views of the faculty members from both regions. However, more investigation is required to compare early adopters who already fully adopted cloud in the educational setting and are already actively using it for a while to the adopters and or non-adopters from different regions. Moreover, additional internal and external aspects of other frameworks could be included to understand the adoption process from different perspectives. Various communities as students, IT professionals, administrators could also be involved for further investigations of these issues. Here are the references that are used to write the paper. Thank you very much for your attention.